Hello, everyone. This presentation is the final project for computer security. On this project, we are going to discuss about Distcc backdoor vulnerability. My name is Abi Adis, a student at a US university. I hope at the end of this presentation, you will get fundamental information about this vulnerability and how we can actually manipulate it and come up with remediation. Just to give a little bit of introduction, in computer security, vulnerability is a weakness in a firewall that can lead to malicious hackers getting into a computer network. So we may have several types of vulnerabilities. So when we talk about backdoor vulnerability, is a vulnerability that gives an attacker unauthorized access to a system by bypassing normal security mechanisms. So from those types of backdoor vulnerabilities, we are focusing on the Distcc, which is a tool for speeding up the compilation of source code by using distributed computing over a network. So when we come up with this summarized concept behind this kind of vulnerability, we'll come up to this portion. Several cybersecurity professionals explain that it can be used to compile programs quickly and configured to use multiple devices to aid in the compilation. For this project, which will focus on the specified vulnerability, we are going to use Metasploit and also other relevant tools can be also used by other students as well. It is a framework that vulnerabilities and exploits can be loaded from and executed within. It is good to know how to use Metasploiter or similar tools, but more importantly, it is the understanding of how the backdoors and exploits work. This project is tasked to explain those and provide a strategy to overcome the vulnerability. The Distcc detects and exploits a remote code execution vulnerability in the distributed compiler daemon part of that Distcc. The vulnerability was disclosed in 2002, but it is still present in modern implementation due to poor configuration of the service. When we are going to emphasize on its impact, attackers can exploit this issue to execute arbitrary commands in the context of the application. Successful attacks will compromise the affected system. Distcc by default trusts its clients completely, that in turn could allow a malicious client to execute arbitrary commands on the server. Following to this slide, I'm going to show some demonstration about how we can reproduce that vulnerability. For this sake, I am going to use Metasploitable tool Linux from VMware Workstation 17. And as a attacker, I'm going to use the Kali visual remote computer. I logged into Metasploitable using MSF admin as a user ID and a password, and I come up to this. And I also have tried to configure the IP address using ifconfig command, and I come up with the IP address for a better view, I just kind of minimize the picture as follows. So we are able to identify the IP address of the metasploitable as 192.168.181.172. I also tried to identify the IP address for the Kali Linux, which is the attacker computer, and it was identified as 10.0.2.15. So having those two IP addresses, I'm going to demonstrate how we can reproduce the backdoor vulnerability. First, I use the command to use from the Kali standpoint to access the metasploitable. I provided the NAM command by providing the IP address of the metasploitable, which is 192.168.181.172, and the other protocols are together with it. So we were successfully able to identify and go to the console part of the metasploitable. And we got this hard-looking image, and we're now inside the victim computer metasploitable. We tried here to search the Distcc. As you can see, we are able to figure out some of it. Now we try to list the available boards, and we found out 32 of them are available. Okay, so now I continue to use several codes and continue to manipulate. And I also try to show the options. Here are the global options setting right here inside the metasploitable. Okay, yeah, we can list several. This is acting like Kali is acting as owner of that network right now. We were able to infiltrate inside. Now, finally, after accomplishing whatever we can do inside the victim computer, we can simply also run out and leave that station. As a remediation to this kind of vulnerability, we can consider some solutions, but it is completely possible to resolve the problem or to protect from not happening again. If completed successfully, the victim computer won't be accessible again. It might require advanced skills to secure previously exposed network. In order to do that, we are going to follow this or similar protocols. We are going to search the Distcc again, and we're going to use this command is use exploit unix /misc/distcc, and we're going to set the payload again, and we're going to set the host IP address, which is the exploitable computer IP address. And after we redeemed the problem or resolved the problem, metasploitable won't be reachable again. I'm going to provide the link at the end of this slide so Professor can review it. Thank you very much.